Hello, and welcome to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. I'm Isla Garcia, master's degree of nutrition science and registered dietitian, and I'm going to make weight loss realistic, sustainable, and uncomplicated for your busy lifestyle. On this podcast, me and my team of registered dietitians will decipher the latest nutrition research, dissect fad diets, and discuss social media trends for you so you can feel confident knowing what to eat to achieve your health goals. Research suggests that most weight loss programs aren't successful, but my experience has taught me that this is not because the participants aren't committed. It's because those diets are designed by non-nutrition professionals and center around severe restrictions. We are here to provide the facts about the science of weight loss so you can have the success you want and continue living your best life. Hello, welcome back to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. My name is Isla, your founder, CEO, and host of our podcast. And today I'm going to talk to you about continuing to try to lose weight despite it being the busy season in the holidays. I don't know about for you, but I feel like for me, and I feel like for most of my clients, December is the time of the year where it's just like back-to-back things. It's like a holiday party every weekend. My birthday is personally December 15th, so like in a week. So that's always a component for me. Plus, I know New Year's is also right after Christmas. So I feel like this is the time of the year where it's just like, you might have been holding it together through the holidays. And then all of a sudden it's like, why am I even trying? Let's just try again in January. But I'm going to encourage you not to do that. And I'm going to talk you through some tips on how to save time, because I think all those events just can take time from you. It can really disrupt your current health routines that you've set up. On a personal note, I am recording in my house or my apartment. So apologies if the audio isn't as crisp and nice. I just couldn't bring myself over to go to the WeWork to record this. And that's a part of saving time and being realistic, is just to pare down your expectations and know that we don't have to be perfect when we do these things. With that being said, some other announcements business-wise, if I can find my notes for today's episode. Oh, this is the first December podcast episode that is coming out. So as a reminder, we always have a new Millennial Living Challenge at the beginning of every month. And the new challenge for this month is cutting out the holiday calories, or just cutting down on the holiday calories. So I was like, kind of debating doing this one or not, just because I don't want it to seem too restrictive, but I don't think it's, again, realistic to say you're going to probably be in the same exact calorie deficit as you were before the holidays. But I think there are some things you could still cut back on. And with this, it's just prioritizing the calories that you want to eat versus you don't want to eat. So not filling up on like high calorie foods that you just don't even personally like, saving those calories for foods you like. And that right there puts you in a calorie deficit. Or it could be just like doing a smaller portion of the mac and cheese, or not doing the extra high calorie alcohol cocktail or something like that. So I just want you to be mindful and think about during this last month of the year of some things you could swap or just deny yourself to decrease calories. And that's all you have to post about. Reminder that if you complete the challenge, which is always just like post 3 pictures of your attempt of doing the challenge, you get entered to win a $25 gift card of anywhere that you want to. We don't have a whole lot of people that do the challenge, so your odds are pretty good for winning it. Second announcement is kind of big, but I also like don't know what to do with this. It's like not the ideal time to have this, but I don't know what to do with this information. So I'm just going to put it on this podcast. So I apparently now am approved to take some health insurances. It's something that I actually had an intern help me with figure out how to take health insurance. I worked on it like 6 months ago and was just like, this is a really annoying process. So I'll just like pick this back up when I move. But I am approved. I signed the contract over Thanksgiving, and I am in network to take United, I believe, across the whole US, and for Texas, Blue Cross and Blue Shield. But I think if you have Blue Cross in other states, I still might be able to accept you. Full disclosure that I don't exactly know how to run insurance or anything. I already use a electronic medical record system that I think I can just submit to your health insurance. But I'm very much like, okay, let's just like trial and error through this thing. So if you have always wanted to work with me and the price point has been a problem and you want to try to use health insurance, reach out to me. I think I'm going to have to kind of change how I do the program for people who take health insurance just because they have a lot of restrictions on what I can and can't bill on. But to motivate me, if I have a client that I'm kind of working through this with, then it's going to help me to kind of learn from it. So if you're wanting to get started in the new year, want to use health insurance because, hey, I know the economy is getting rough out there. It's a possibility if you have United or Blue Cross, and it is just with me, not with the other coaches. I'm going to trial this on myself first before I bring some other people on. So you can reach out, you could schedule a discovery call and maybe just like put on there that you're interested in taking health insurance, or you could just send me an email or something like that. Third announcement is that the price is likely to increase in January for non-insurance people, just because of supply and demand. We only have so many spots. So if we have a limited number of spots left, we will increase the price. And we always do that. Our prices are dynamic depending on how many spots we have left. And in January, typically all of our spots get taken. So if you are interested in signing up, you could totally go ahead and sign up with one of us now and reserve your spot for January when the price is lower. I wanted to let you know because I would like somebody to let me know if something like that were to happen. But anyway, back to the episode. I'm going to try to not talk super fast because I do need to leave in like 30 minutes to go fix this new earring that I got done. But back to saving time, or back to being healthy during the busy times of the holidays. I don't think I've covered this direct topic before. We probably talked around it, but back when I did a survey at the beginning of the holiday season on Instagram, so make sure to check us out at the.millennial.nutritionist if you're not already, because I try to get some interest or see what questions y'all have about a certain topic before. A lot of people said that it's honestly just the busyness of everything, which I totally get. I feel like it's like, you might like, eating fruits and vegetables. You might not have a problem with exercising, but it's just like when you have less time that it's hard to keep doing all those things. So let's talk directly about that for a little bit. I have like 4 or 5 key points here that I've thought through that I think would be most helpful to talk about. And I'm kind of taking inspiration from my clients. Sometimes we have these sessions where it's what I kind of call like a re-energizing session, because the way our program works is we have 6 steps and we have 7 sessions. So it's pretty clear that you're working through each step in each session with like an extra session to maybe like have as a backup or just like a wrap up ending session. But sometimes, things happen in life. I totally don't want people to just sign up when you think you have 3 months of like easy life, because that's not how life works. And we have to have these sessions where we're kind of like starting from zero again, or not starting from zero because you've made progress, but maybe like really figuring out what you think you can easily work on so we can like accelerate through the habits again. We might need to start back from zero, or we might need to like figure out what's the easiest thing to set a goal for maybe 3 days, as opposed to at the beginning of working together, we had to set a whole 2 weeks. You have the knowledge of what you did to set the goal for 2 weeks. We can work on that 3 days, achieve it, and then move on to something else in 3 days. And so that's kind of what this session is going to be. And it's not just during the holidays. So I think this information can be really helpful, because sometimes I have to do this for my accountant clients during tax season. Is typically really chaotic for them, or for Ramadan, for my Muslim clients, a lot of times we have to say, okay, this is going to be a hard season for you. What do you even want to achieve? And I can help you there. Holidays, or even just like a death in the family or getting a new job or something like that, is typically where we have a session. And it's just like, hey, what do you think is going to be most helpful for you to work on? Let's brainstorm that together. So we're going to do that right now. So first, I want you to simplify and define your goal. This is pretty much the same thing I talked about 2 podcasts ago, where we talked about traveling for the holidays, just because my stance on making changes or trying to lose weight during the holiday season is just be realistic. So many people I get say that they have problems with an all or nothing mindset. And it can really flare up during this time of the year if you have all these really ambitious goals of like not having any desserts or not having any cocktails, or like the one day you can't exercise, you're like, well, whatever, I just won't exercise again the whole month. No, but I do. So I think that it's important to pare down your expectations of what your goals look like, and just know that you're like, there's new things. Like for me, every time I go to Trader Joe's, there's like 5 new desserts that I really want to try that aren't there the rest of the holidays. There are tons of family events where I can easily say like, okay, I'm only going to get a salad. But when somebody makes like a really good magic bar or something, I'm like, wow, I really want to try that. And if I were just to be like, well, I already had the magic bar, I'm going to just give up on all of my health goals or all of my health habits. that's just like not a good mindset to be in. So I think paring things down, being realistic, know that January comes and everything is like really boring in January. So you can totally focus on everything then is great. We don't want to go to zero right now, but I think thinking of a couple of things can be really helpful to make you feel like you're accomplishing something. Do you love our realistic approach on nutrition but want to dive a little bit deeper? Let me tell you about the Millennial Living Membership Program. This was designed to help you stay motivated and inspired no matter what health journey you're on. We develop monthly nutrition and fitness challenges with prizes you can win if you stick with it to help motivate you through every month. To inspire you, we upload weekly recipes with downloadable food lists, monthly food demos, and we can even have a registered dietitian answer your questions on nutrition and weight loss. Our members form a community with other like-minded people to help support each other on their health journey. If you are seeking a way to stay motivated throughout your health journey with our method in mind, try signing up for the Millennial Living Membership Program for the first 2 weeks free by signing up on our website at themillennialnutritionist.com. I just actually went through this with a client and she did amazing. She messaged me because we have messaging in our program. And she said, hey, like Thanksgiving came. I know we prepped before, but it was just way harder than I anticipated. I'm logging what I eat. I'm like doubling all my calories. I'm trying to make a goal of fruits and vegetables. It's not happening. I can't exercise at home because I have somebody staying with me. I feel like I'm about to give up. And I said, okay, I want you to think of 2 very simple goals that you can achieve so that you feel like you can accomplish something, and then we can get back on the bandwagon of everything. Maybe think of a goal of something you could give up or limit yourself, which is where the Millennial Living Challenge came. So for her, she decided, look, I'm having these donuts every day that I don't even really like. I can easily give that up, either throw them out or give them away to somebody. And that would be an easy way to start decreasing my calorie intake. I also think it's realistic to eat a produce with every meal, maybe not the 5 to 6 that we always talk about, but I can at least go from 0 to 3 servings and just ask myself to add it to every meal. So that was something she was helping to restrict her calories on in a realistic way, but also add something so she feels full and getting on top of the cravings, because you're more likely to eat those sugary foods that are around during the holiday season when you're just overall hungry. So that is what that looked like for her. For me, my plan, which I kind of went over for Christmas, I'm staying with my in-laws. So what I think is realistic for me, my kind of like 2 goals are to exercise. So try to play as much pickleball as possible. I find that for me, it's easier to exercise when I'm away because I'm not working. I have a lot more just like time. And so although it might be harder to meet my nutrition goals, it's a lot easier for me to find large amounts of time to go to the gym, go on a walk with people. Now that you know I'm obsessed with pickleball, David and I are going to try to set up little tournaments with everybody every day. But I'm even being realistic to say, like, hey, if that doesn't happen, because you do kind of have to at least have one other person to play pickleball with, maybe I'll go on a walk. If it's too cold, I might look into getting just like a month membership for the month of December at Planet Fitness for $10 or whatever, just to go at least walk on the treadmill. So I want to try to commit to that. And then I also want to take inspiration from my client and ask myself to put a piece of produce with every meal. I even think for myself, it's not realistic to say I'm going to do 5 to 6 servings per day when I'm not in my own environment and have complete control of everything. But I feel pretty confident that I can like get a banana for breakfast, that I could get a serving of beans or get a bag of baby carrots and just stock the house up with some of that I could have, and then potentially offer to make like a salad or get some frozen vegetables that I can add on to a meal for dinner and it not be weird. So that's what I'm doing to be realistic. So maybe ask yourself what those simplified goals look like for you. The second thing is now prioritize it. So although these aren't like all these secrets and like saving time on things, I'm going to get to those in the last 2 points. I think it's most important to set yourself up for success. That's why these 2 points are a little bit more like get your mindset in the right place, think about things. I had a client this week, and that's what she said is helping her during the holiday season is as long as she has things like in the house and she has a plan set up, it's a lot easier for her to follow through. as opposed to just like not having anything available, not having a plan at all. And then it's so easy just to throw in the towel. So all that to say, my second point is to just prioritize things before the busyness happens. So you have your 2 goals. I want you to think of like, how can you at all costs make sure you meet just these 2 goals? We're not going to treat like every single goal like this. That's why we pared it down. But I want you to at least prioritize the 2 goals that you have made. Maybe write it down somewhere where you can see it. Personally, I love waking up every day. I wake up around like 6 now, and I journal sometimes. I haven't honestly had a lot on my mind to journal about, but I do kind of like write down my plan for the day, what I'm going to eat, just on a piece of paper, or like sometimes my Fitness Pal plan it out, and I write down what time I'm going to exercise and how I'm going to get that done. And that helps me to just ensure that's going to happen. This could look like for you, if you're not like a journaler or a writer outer, to say first thing in the morning during the holiday season, I'm going to get up and exercise. That's what some of my clients have had to do recently, is just commit to exercise in the morning. If they're not going to do that, they know it's not going to get done. They're not going to have any excuses about what that looks like. If they say, okay, at some point in the week, I'm going to exercise now. I'm going to exercise 3 times this week. It's going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to be done with it. And again, like I said, my other client, set yourself up for success with it. It's a way to prioritize it. So go to the grocery store during the Sunday. Like if you're not traveling anywhere and the busyness for you comes from all these holiday parties where you're like, don't have time to cook, or like the weekends are taken up by different things, carve out some time in the week to go to the grocery store so that you can at least like pick some things. And I'm going to go over some nutritional ways to save time. But if you're at least having your house stocked, it's so much easier. I mean, I don't know how you would achieve nutrition goals if you don't at least have things on hand. I mean, you could totally go out to eat for all 3 meals, and I have clients to do that, and they're successful, and it's a very different way of trying to meet goals. But I think for most of us, if we're cooking things at home, it's gonna be really hard to meet goals if you don't have the supplies on hand. So try to carve out time to go to the grocery store, make it every Sunday evening or Monday evening, Tuesday evening, something like that. So you at least have things on hand. My 4th tip, how to actually save time with healthy eating. So I'm going to go over how to save time with healthy eating and how to save time with exercise now that we have it prioritized and we've set ourselves up for success. So go to the grocery store. For the grocery store, if you don't have time to go, like I said, like say your whole weekend is out, say you're traveling somewhere, or it's like a whole weekend of like holiday parties and stuff, Instacart is always an option. I honestly haven't used Instacart in quite a while, just because like I've pared down work, so I have a lot more time to physically go to the grocery store, but I know a lot of you have not done that. And I don't think enough people utilize Instacart. I know it's a little pricier, but it's definitely cheaper than going to get, food out at a restaurant or something like that. And you could even do this if you are one of those people that don't really have planning down yet, as far as knowing how much produce you should buy at the grocery store, anything like that. You could utilize just getting online late at night and having something delivered to your house in the morning, or you can set up a window of time for the next day, or even Amazon for Whole Foods can also be used like this. What exactly are you going to get from the grocery store, though, to make it easier on yourself? I think this is the time of the year where you need to simplify your cooking, because again, you're going to get overwhelmed and give up if you make things too complicated with nutrition. You have other things going on, which I think you should. I don't think you should abandon all of your holiday traditions with just trying to be healthy all the time. But there are ways that we can make things easier so that when we are eating at home, we have it on hand. And so I'm a huge proponent of processed things, not like uber processed, like, I don't know, protein drinks for all of your servings of everything, but processed in the terms of like frozen foods, or getting sandwich items, or even getting canned soup. I don't think enough people utilize those options. I'm, always telling people to have stocked edamame, have frozen smoothie stuff stock. That has helped me honestly so much recently, to have like a smoothie blend with kale and avocado. I found this really good one at Aldi a while back with all of that in there. And then I have protein powder and almond milk, which I feel like all 3 of those things stay good forever. And that's an easy meal, snack, breakfast, or whenever you need it. You can also do that with frozen vegetables. Like I said, canned soup is great for this time of the year. And there's nothing wrong with just eating a sandwich for dinner as well. You can make it really healthy with a side of frozen vegetables or a side salad. For your meals, if you're going to home make a meal, I think, again, just keep it super simple. I don't think you should try to like go all out. This could overwhelm you and you could feel like it's like impossible, and then you're likely to give up. For protein, there are great options out there that I don't think enough people think are healthy or use. Like those marinated cuts of meat have been saving me a lot recently with like marinated pork tenderloin, and loins of meat are healthier than the other cuts of meat. So if you're getting like a pork tenderloin or beef tenderloin or turkey tenderloin or something like that, that's going to be a little bit lower in calorie. In a really easy meal, which I've been doing recently, is just the marinated meat, 2 types of roasted vegetables, which you could easily do. Like last night I did roasted carrots and broccoli. It counts as 2 servings if you mix it up because it's 2 different types of vegetables. And then rice for a grain. I've literally been doing rice like every day because it's so easy to throw in the rice cooker, or even just a roll. It doesn't have to be healthy. We need to have carbs in our meal, because if I only did the protein and the vegetables, then I'd only have like 200 calories in that meal, and I'm going to be hungry for the dessert that I have laying around, or the dessert that I go to at the party. So making sure you have all those My Plate components, but just make it easy on yourself and don't try to make this like super complicated meal. I think a very easy example day of eating for very minimal time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner could look something like this. Cereal with fruit for breakfast. You could do Cheerios and banana and milk. That would cover a lot of bases. Maybe a snack of a protein bar, because you're not getting much protein in with that unless you do like some protein cereal, or something like that. Lunch, you could easily do like a salad, rotisserie chicken, and maybe some tortilla chips as the carb. And then dinner, like I said above, like a pork tenderloin, 2 vegetables, and a rice situation. That would be super easy. It's honestly pretty cheap, and it would get you through the weekdays when you don't have time to eat other things. You could even meal prep that and eat that throughout the week. So you're not having to make this, again, super complicated meal that's going to exhaust you and might cause you to just go out to eat or pick up takeout or something like that. I think simplify it, know the principles of nutrition that we talk about over and over again, and not make it super complicated on yourself. Okay, the last tip I have is about how to save time with exercise, which I feel like I've talked about over and over again, but let's just talk about it again in case you haven't listened to any other episodes or you need a refresher. So I think with exercise, I personally struggle with this, so it's hard for me to think of a lot of tips, but I think the biggest tip that I have is try to incorporate it into what you do. We have to exercise now because we're not active people anymore. We have computer jobs that have replaced a lot of mechanical jobs, which is great, but instead of using that extra time now that we used to have by like working in the factories or like hand washing our clothes, we now just sit around and do stuff. So try to incorporate active things in your day, whether it's trying to park further away from the grocery store, or go down every aisle at the grocery store, or try to take the stairs at work. One big tip that I have for a lot of people or a lot of clients that they like is to go talk to somebody at their office. If you're working in an office or a hospital or something like that, instead of sending them a message, and that can just easily increase steps. If you work from home, these might not be applicable. So my biggest thing is just trying to walk during a meeting. I have a lot of clients that like doing that, get a walking pad, and with certain meetings where you can just listen or something, that could be an easy time to get in 10, 15, 20 minutes of walking, and you get about 1,000 steps every 10 minutes. So all those little things can really add up. I feel like I always tell this story, but I had this one client that amazed me, and she would, every time her watch said to stand up once an hour, she would take that as an opportunity to walk around her house. She worked from home, and that's how she got all of her steps in. I've had other clients just pace around their office while they're on the phone. If you have more of like a job where you can just talk to people on the phone, and those are all ways you can get active during the day. And then at the end of the day, you can just sit down and not have to worry about it anymore. If you're struggling with being active because so much of your evening and your weekend is taken up by social events during this time of the year, I think trying to make those events social in and of themselves can be helpful. So I know it's not realistic to, say that you're going to change a holiday party to something active. But I think if you have like family in town or something like that, and that's what is keeping you from being able to spend time on exercise, try to do social things with them. If it's not super measurable outside, you could go on a walk with them and talk instead of just like sitting around and talking on the couch. I love pickleball, and I feel like I need to do a whole episode on pickleball so I can stop talking about it. But I think that I like it is really social. David and I have really been enjoying every time we're with somebody, like we stay with them or we have them stay with us, or for Thanksgiving, we played pickleball with our whole family every time. It's just so fun because it's very easy to pick up. You don't have to have any skill. I never played tennis or anything like that. Basically, the goal is just to get the ball over the net. And again, it's a fun social thing you can do. I really recommend for you to look in your city to see if there's an indoor court. A lot of these places, a lot of pickleball places are set up for social events. So they're like a brewery / like pickleball court inside. It's very interesting. But it allows for you to be social during this time of the year as opposed to just like sitting around and doing a puzzle, which I do love. But we need to get active if we don't want to feel like crap, or we want to try to at least maintain our weight during this time of the year. And that's an idea that I have for you. The last way that I think you could save time with exercise, or even just like prioritize it, I guess, is to sign up for some fun exercise classes to keep you accountable. So many people that I work with during this time of the year tell me that the reason they're able to continue to lose weight during the holidays is honestly just because they have somebody, me, that's holding them accountable. I'm not like getting mad at them. And I am always saying, okay, whatever your goal is, I'm here to support you. I don't come up with the goals for people. I just help give ideas and support and accountability and stuff like that. And I think that can be as easy as it is. You don't have to, like, a lot of times you have it within you to do these things, but because you've already signed up for a party, because you have family in town, that's what you are holding yourself accountable to the party, to the family. But if you were to sign up for an exercise class or something, that's what would probably hold you accountable. And so maybe just sign up for some fun stuff if you have that available to you. Take a pickleball class. Or even like if you already go to a gym, although it's not strength or a lot of cardio, maybe just sign up for yoga or sign up for a step class or sign up for like a Zumba class if you go to a Y or you have that as an option to you. Again, the theme overall is to pare down your expectations and then go for it in January, but do something to get moving and to keep you accountable during this time of the year. And I think a great idea of that is just to say, hey, my goal is just literally to get to the gym. And if the best way for you to get to the gym is to sign up for a class and pay for it and hold yourself accountable, no matter what the class is, it's going to be way better than you doing nothing, because you'll already have had an exercise routine. And it's much easier to tweak when you have the routine as opposed to starting from zero come January and you have no routine and you're having to start from scratch. So those are my exercise tips. Overall, I just want you to give yourself grace. I agree this is a super hard time of the year, and I don't think it's realistic to say you're going to like do everything unless you, I guess, have like no friends and you have no family and you're just like literally by yourself. And I'd be like, yeah, I think it's realistic. Let's just like go for it. And do all the things that I say for everybody to do the rest of the year. But I think it's still better to do something as opposed to nothing, so that you even just like feel better and that January is easier. And a lot of clients are surprised by how little effort they have to give during the holidays to still see weight loss. And so follow these tips and see what happens to you. Please answer the Spotify question that I'll enter. I think I'll enter something like, what do you do? I just want to, again, build a community of people that are helping each other to try to lose weight, because it's so much easier when we're all doing it. So answer my question of what you find is most helpful for you to stay motivated and save time during the busy holiday season. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. For daily weight loss tips and nutrition information, you can find us on Instagram at the.millennial.nutritionist and on TikTok at millennial.nutritionist. If you find this information helpful, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend who needs encouragement on their health journey. See you in the next episode.